Hey, what's up, guys? And welcome to Thursday Night Overlanders here with your Minnesota Overlander, Jax. So, obviously, last night I did a little bit of a short live stream saying that we are having a special return tonight of one of our Overlander members. So, stay tuned for that. I'm just getting everything all set up here, and we'll get the show on the road. So again, talked about it last night. There's going to be a new video dropping for B&E Music later on in the show. Also, we are going to be touching on the events that happened yesterday. We'll get into that as soon as we bring our brother on. So let's go ahead and get the ball rolling there. Please help me welcome back. Once I can get down to it here. Peter's going to bear with. Sorry about that. Bring in Overlander Griff.
Hey, Jax, good to be back, as always.
Good to have you back.
And unfortunately, my buddy was out hanging out, so I roped him into it.
Hey, guys.
Not a problem. What's up, brother?
Yeah, it's good to be back after the federal government said I can finally have a life again. I love being employed by the biggest dickhead corporation out there.
Yeah, we missed you definitely during your hiatus, but we understood that you had other priorities you have to take care of, so it's good to have you back. I want to go ahead here real quick and point out, as always, have the website scrolling at the bottom of the screen, MinnesotaOverland.xyz, SinCityTactical.xyz, and G3Survival.com. The .xyzs are the Minnesota Overlanders and Sin City Tactical page website links to bring you right to the specific merchandise. You can also view the show from there on Saturdays, as well as listen to the audio when it gets posted up to the audio side of things on Anchor, and we take that embedded and bring that over to the website as well. So that's just a little bit of update for you. You haven't been around in almost a little over a month, so I'll have to, after the show, kind of bring you up to speed on some of that.
All right.
So moving forward here, we're going to jump into it here a little bit and go right into, let's go. All right, we're going to go ahead and jump into the USA news, which is going to be Griff's topic.
All right. So when I heard that we're now doing a news segment, couldn't have come at a better time. Yesterday was the 6th, and as anyone who has technology knows, there was a huge rally at our nation's capital yesterday, at which point a group of pro-Trump supporters marched into Congress. Unfortunately, a woman was shot, and 3 more were thrown from third-floor balconies. So there were 4 casualties in this event. And now the right-leaning groups are being labeled as terrorists, while everyone in Congress seems to just push it off as a regular occurrence, and they're back doing whatever it is that they're doing. I think it'd be nice to talk more about that and get all 3 of our opinions and hopefully try to make sense of what's going on.
Yeah, definitely. And anybody out there watching, definitely feel free to chime in with your thoughts and opinions on this as well. So I guess I'll start off with it. Obviously, what happened yesterday was a complete and utter disarray of, information coming out from all different media sources. And I was doing a lot more looking at other YouTube channels like Adam Calhoun and Upchurch earlier today. And I agree with Adam Calhoun when he says, it wasn't just pro-Trump supporters. He had, Trump put out a post or, made a comment and invited everybody to come to our nation's capital. And, things got out of hand. But it was Americans that still believe and love America, And so when there's unfortunate death and people being thrown out of balconies and everything else like that, from what Adam Calhoun said, Trump got told to tell everybody that showed up, even from halfway across the country, to turn around and go home. So in my opinion, yeah, I get it. People showed up for him, but lately with what's been going on and there being a recount, Biden's obviously getting into office. But then again, Trump really hasn't been doing his job lately either. So it's kind of a toss-up. I do feel like the death was unnecessary. They could have
absolutely any death is unnecessary.
They definitely could have just detained, those people and locked them away for a little while until they figured out what the situation was and what was going on. But, obviously in a situation like that, one thing leads to another, and that's how we end up in this kind of a situation.
Right. Well, what are your opinions there, buddy?
Well, I didn't watch much of it. I just seen the newspapers and all that stuff and CNN. But personally, I believe that they should be held accountable, regardless whether it was one party or another,
Mm-hmm.
And then that killing part should never happen, like you said, because you are trained. Actually, that was a Capitol Police. You are trained to actually, assist the situation versus pulling a trigger over a fear. And then on top of that, the lady that got shot technically was not the one that was actually doing much of the writing on the situation on that. She was standing, while everybody else was roaming around.
Really?
So yeah. So she was actually just standing there, with her sign and everything, and he panicked and shot the lady. So in that point, they might charge the guy as a slaughter wise, but at the end of the day, you should never pull a trigger, one. And two, you are there to basically assist. If you're fearing you're alive, then just run away. You got space, things like that. But politician-wise, a lot of people play the pointing fingers, But at the end of the day, they should be accountable for that situation, whether it's, red or blue. So we'll see what happens.
Right. I completely agree. It's deplorable what happened. And I just want to quickly iterate and say that my friend that's joining us today, he is a part of train security. I'm not going to divulge in what manner or what company or where at. But if someone who is also trained in security measures says you're fucking up, you're fucking up. But one thing I've noticed is the meeting the politicians paint one side in one way and the other side in the completely other way. What I believe the biggest takeaway we should get from this is we should never trust anything we get at face value. We always need to be looking deeper into it and look at the root causes of everything. Now, too many people just read the headlines on CNN, MSNBC, or any other news outlet, and they take that as gospel. These so-called rioters, were let in by security. They were peacefully protesting. There's video of people that were trying to start fires, break windows, and the mob, using that as a general term, not as a negative term, took those people and beat them senseless. Pretty much saying, hey, we don't do that. Quit being an idiot.
Yeah. And, that, if I may piggyback on that for a minute, that's a good point there, because that's something else that Adam Calhoun mentioned. He's like, for the majority anyway, most of them were peacefully protesting. Now, I can totally get behind peacefully protesting as an American, and standing up for what you believe in. But let's go back a few months ago into last year even. There were riots here in Minneapolis. The 3rd precinct of the police department over there burned to the ground. They were, it was nonstop. We had curfews in place. There were, people being pepper sprayed and gas bombed, if you will. Not obviously not a toxic gas, but a tear agent gas. And from that to what was going on at the White House, for them to call that domestic terrorism, in my opinion, it is a little far-fetched and ridiculous, because you're saying that's domestic terrorism, but all the rest of the stuff that was going on earlier last year, it isn't in that category. That's kind of where my fine line's drawn, and where I'm even going to step in and say it's ridiculous as far as the media coverage goes. It kind of goes back into the whole COVID thing too. Whatever's being put out in the media lately is all just for a bunch of rise to try to get people to over exaggerate and freak out and go to lengths that shouldn't even need to be gone to, just so that these news channels can stay relevant.
Right. I do want to close off by saying that what we just talked about, for the most part, is our own opinions. We are not experts in any way, shape, or form. Other various liability CYA type of things. This is sad. It shouldn't have happened. Weighs heavy on all of our hearts to see good Americans die. But we've got some happy news coming up. I hear we have some new music, so let's get going to that.
Yeah, definitely. So I know I kind of debriefed you on this before the show, but a coworker of mine on my day side employment is one of the producers over at B&E Music. For our listeners and viewers out there, you can find them on Facebook and as well as on YouTube under B&E Music. Make sure you put the and symbol. Otherwise, you're not going to find them. So definitely make sure you type it in right. And while I get this pulled up, I'm going to go ahead and just kind of touch on this. We've already went over at least 2 or 3 songs off the Born Hated album that I personally own. And, in my opinion, the music that comes out of this localized label here in Minnesota is, it reminds me of an old school vibe. So if you're into like old school hip hop or, and it's not even just hip hop, there's, many different genres of it. So to me, it just definitely brings a whole new flip on it from what you get in the mainstream scene of music. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the screen up here. And you got to click that share audio, because I always seem to forget to do that. All right, so this one is called Ashes of the Apocalypse by Jay Pringles, featuring worker of mine by the name of Boris the Human.
All right.
As well as a couple other artists here. So we'll go ahead and solo that. Yeah.
I don't know. This guy's named Pringles. I like him already.
Indeed. Yeah, Pringles. Bet you can't hit this one. All right. So here we go. Once it gets into full screen mode.
Walrus is fucking the shit up, getting it lit up. I'ma go get 'em, hit 'em with the sickest shit that's in the mix is what I give 'em. Kill 'em when I'm on the track and don't laugh, I'm at it. Yeah, man, I'm better than the shit, even piss like a bachelor bladder. I didn't mean to do it, man, it had to happen. Ask 'em about me, city and the county, townies that I grew up with around me. Anybody that's found me on a SoundCloud beat, open in the crowd, seeing what I do. Stopping all these motherfuckers with some minor boots, kicking the door out of war with these chicken up boy. Yeah, your boy better destroy you. Fuck on ignorant and I don't give a shit. Yeah. The pitching is highest digits in the pile, get rhythm, I'm riding the rhythm, having fun with it, boy. I got the juice, got the fire, got the ignition, yeah. I got the booze, got the drive, got the ambition, yeah. I'm back in it, man. Listen, if you hit me, you can suck up on my dick. Always smoking something greener than the hog or some damn spinach, or we really don't be fucking with anybody that isn't. Energy is everything. Breathing smog and stardust, there's hell to fuel up machines. Kings and queens, heaps of money laid out with diamond rings. Dumped on the now, classless masses, smashing stashes, thereby blessing those in the gardens, but damning anyone in their castles. With no gods of economy, no true masters of the hierarchy. We are orphans of the system built on capital. Now is when you meet man as a real motherfucking animal. A distant glimpse back in the past to how we always will act. Savage and cannibal, simple proven fact. You can keep holding out hope, kid, but I know we're a plague on the planet's back. Energy is everything. Breathing smog and stardust, there's hell to fuel up machines. Blanco's got me out of space and I'm so out of place. East Santo Pablo's known to ride with Satan. I form it out of hatred, the chance my mental manic like I'm Peyton. I speak disease, I'm running out of patience. Fused to tunes a bond I have forsaken. To music, I'm amalgamation. Strapped with a hatchet. Acting with class, but I stay inside the hood like a poncho. Bad for the masses, massive gas like I'm castric. Only when I tonto, always got a flaunt. I'm a lone ranger, I slash him and gash him. I'm coming with a tonto, keep it 150 like I'm coming at a conto. Paid with Bon Sage, coming for it pronto. They after me, God King steady coming with the blasphemy. Half will be near a lake of lava, odd things, but they call me with the apathy. If grass is green around the other side, I blow clouds like a chemtrail factory. Grab a mic and watch me cap a city, run it back, I can handle the capacity.
I harvest songs like a beat farmer. I stay up late if y'all need proof. Then drink Everclear and try to keep calmer. I'm a stormbreaker, I don't need roots. I don't need roots. I'm a born wanderer, born to conquer. I don't need truths. I'm Minnesota, I'll take a flow and make purple rain. And that's beet juice. Energy is everything. Breathing smog and stardust. Exhale the fuel of machines. I am pain. I am the ashes of apocalypse. The touch of dead empire. I am the air and the rage of the redwood. I am the dust and the soul of first blood. There's nothing of memory. One permanent. Let's separate. I am the monument to the sea. There's nothing of memory. One permanent. Let's separate. I am the monument to the sea.
All right, so that was the new one by Jay Pringles. I'm going to go ahead and usually don't do much of a reaction, but being as I got you guys here with me tonight, what do you guys think of the local music?
Well,
Personally, I liked it. You know, especially the beats was going good too, and he was actually hitting and rhyming with the beats, which was pretty nice.
I'd have to agree with that. It not really my taste, but I would have to say it is good.
Yeah, I mean, for being local, I don't know if I mentioned it before we started it, but they're not just a one genre style label. They have kind of everything under the sun, from screamo, rap to like reggae, and I jokingly said to my coworker, one of the producers, I was like, yeah, now all you need is somebody to get on your guys' label that does hip hop.
Right.
And so, overall, I think it turned out great. I seen the music video before it even was posted to YouTube, and the person they had do it, the overall quality in and of itself was just, for what they spent on it, was pretty impeccable. So, all right, that brings us into our next topic here. We're going to go into a tactical gear review. I know we're going to be doing another one on Saturday on Sin City Tactical Show. Now, depending on what time we do that show, with Wes's time schedule, Griff may or may not be there. So we'll just kind of play that by ear, and I'll let you guys know. So we'll go ahead and let Griff start with his tactical gear item.
Well, my tactical gear item is something that I believe all of us have already. It's a pair of Sharpies. Now, got your regular size Sharpie and the tiny ones that we can just hang off of our gear, off a bag. And I thoroughly believe that it is important to keep some form of permanent marking device with us at all times, whether it being, like marking our cat turn kits with the application time, logging down occurrences in like a security world. And I prefer a Sharpie over a pen, just because if need be, and I do this at work all the time myself, I don't carry around paper. So I just write on my own skin and they can wash it off later. But most importantly, if you're sitting down taking care of business, praying to the porcelain gods, you can at least doodle on the wall and make yourself feel better while you're doing it.
I will agree with that statement. So for our listeners and viewers out there, many, many years back, me and Griff personally worked together on the same shift. He was training me in. I'm not going to say what company, but we were also security guards at one point in time in our lives. And we made a game out of drawing what we called our creative figure Sir Cock and Balls. And basically what it was, basically just a drawing of a penis with a top hat, an eyeglass, and a cane.
And a mustache.
Yep. And the good old, old school mustache. Now, the objective of this game was for me to, on my, when we ended up being on separate shifts, was for me to go around and find, I think it was like 8 or 9 different drawings of Sir Cock and Balls. And I was close. I missed it by like 2 or 3 by the time my tenure there was done.
Yeah, that was my going away gift to you.
Indeed. I'll drink to that. Now, my tactical gear item for today anyways is going to be a little bit more on the lighter side. Tactical wallets. Okay.
All right.
A lot of people are still carrying around big, bulky leather wallets, and that was the case for me until the other day. And I will still stand by, if you're dressing up, whatever, and you want a bigger wallet to carry more stuff in, such as a big wad of cash, per se, you want to stick with your leather wallets. But when it comes down to everyday carry, which me and Wes have talked about a lot lately, we've talked about EDC trays, kind of just EDC equipment in general. And I believe these tactical EDC wallets come in handy. And the reason I say that is I got mine on Amazon for $26, but it comes from Maruden, and it's EDC wallet, obviously. It has a few different attachments. I have the actual, once I get this box open again here, it's RFID capable, so people cannot steal your credit card information. It even says it on the Maruden brand card there.
I do want to quickly interject about RFID shielding in your wallet. When the touch cards first came out, a former friend of mine was one of the first adopters, and he thought it was the coolest thing ever. Using my phone, I quickly downloaded a third-party app when I was talking to him. And as he walked by me, I just went boop, barely touched him, and on my phone, I had his bank information, his address, his name, phone number. It is imperative, get an RFID shielding wallet if you have touch cards. Anyways.
Yeah, no, I agree. A couple of my cards are, touch cards. I still have a mag stripe only card, so I'm thankful for that. But, obviously one of those touch cards is for money that I set aside for the brand itself. So we have money set aside in case I need to send it to Wes to have in the account, in case,
right.
We buy his merch and we need to have money in there. We're still kind of in the early stages of our merchandise sales, as the viewers and listeners know. So as of right now, until more merch goes out, we're funding that account to make sure that we have enough in there to get the stuff made and sent out to you guys. So,
Right.
that being said, though, it comes with this little toolkit as well. I believe it's a mini hex head screwdriver in here. And what that does is that allows me to pop the screws out of the back side of the wallet, go ahead and pop my money clip strap off. And if I were to go and, let's say, buy an actual extra spare attachment, which there's a few of them that you can see on the back of the box here, I could attach those to the current wallet that I have. But, I've been carrying it on me the last 2 days, and instantly, once I put all my cards and driver's license and everything else in there, I noticed a major difference in bulk of pocket space that this wallet takes up compared to my standardized leather one, as well as the overall weight. So last Thursday, when I was doing the show with Wes, I was still rocking the old leather wallet, had it in my pocket. It was starting to dig into my thigh. Uncomfortable. And granted, I have it out right now because we're doing the tactical gear review, but I could sit down all day having it in my pocket or be at work all day with it in my pocket and not even notice that it's there.
Nice.
So, thank you, by the way, for giving me the idea to down the road pick up a tack wallet. I know you got yours like 2 or 3 years ago.
Yep. Yeah, mine's a wallet made by Hellbent Holsters. I don't have it on me right now, but it's a full aluminum wallet with a titanium money clip. Same type of design. I definitely had to pay a premium for it, but I've thoroughly liked it.
Yeah. And, I thoroughly enjoy it too. Mine's aluminum, so I can't complain. 2 different brands. So I'll have to make sure that I get the link to yours as well as post in the description or someplace in the comments on YouTube and Facebook the link to both mine and your tactical wallets in case our listeners and viewers decide that that's something they're interested in.
Awesome.
So that was our tactical gear review of the week. This is going to kind of throw us off our mainstream just because I know we were going to go into Q&A quick, but I do want to put this back out there to our listeners and viewers. So I do have a fantasy hockey league. I have 9 spots to fill before I can even do a draft. Wes is in there, including myself. I can send you the invite link and Abdul the invite link if you guys want to play. But I definitely need at least 9 other teams to fill the league so we can play fantasy hockey this season.
Gotcha.
And for the viewers and listeners out there, if you guys do want to play, feel free to message me at Deadman Inc. Airsoft. Airsoft is all capitalized at Outlook.com. And we'll go ahead and do some shout outs here for our sponsors. So, firstly, I want to go ahead and did that pop up?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So, firstly, I want to go ahead and shout out Wendy from Sight Shooter. We had her on Saturday. She answered a lot of questions as far as courses go. Right now, she is not currently licensed to do a CCW course, but matter of fact, let me pull up the website here and I will go ahead and again show the classes that she does teach. And again, this is down in Las Vegas, Nevada, so unfortunately, for anybody in Minnesota, unless she comes up here to Minneapolis and has a course planned, you may not be able to, unfortunately, go through a course with her. But all the same, you contact myself. I can definitely touch base with Griff, especially for CCW courses, and get you pointed in the right direction or actually set up for a class.
Right. And I do want to say that after all this pandemic hoopla is over with and they start getting more certification classes out for CCW instructors, I'm definitely looking at getting my own certification so I can start teaching and certifying people for their carry permits up here in Minnesota. But unfortunately, the pandemic kind of put a hamper on that.
Yeah, indeed. And, down the road, that's something I'd, like to get into once I know what the cost is once you go through it and things are all kind of set in stone and finalized.
Right.
So to go ahead and do a full solo screen here of Sight Shooter. This is the main screen you're going to come up to. It is sightshooter.com. This is a home page. You got the About tab up here. You click it. It goes down into the reasoning to choose Sight Shooter if you're down in Las Vegas. A little bit about herself. She is NRA certified in basics of pistol shooting, personal protection in the home, personal protection outside of the home, chief RO course instructor, which for those of you that don't know what ROing is, that's basically range officer, which also translates to range safety. And then refuse to be a victim. If you come up to the classes tab itself, the classes offered: intro to handguns, basics of pistol shooting, personal protection in the home, personal protection outside of the home, range safety officer, refuse to be a victim seminar. Now, I do believe, if I remember correctly from the Saturday episode with Wendy, the refuse to be a victim is more aimed at a female gender audience as to male, but it's definitely offered, so something to think about. It's got your class schedule, and I believe as of right now, she is only, with the pandemic going on, teaching either intro to handguns or basics of pistol shooting, but you can definitely check out Saturday's podcast from Sin City Tactical on the website to get the exact class she's teaching as of right now. Got
Wonderful.
your contact. Oh, go ahead.
No, just saying wonderful. Always great to hear about more teachers out there.
Yeah, indeed. And I'll give you a little bit more background about her here in a minute. So this is kind of the Q&A area. How long the classes typically run. Length of class depends on which one you are participating in. Most tend to run a full 8 hours with classroom and range time. Tells you what you need to bring to class. Her opinion, anyways, of what order the classes should be taken in. Will I be able to get my CCW after taking these classes? Her recommendation answer for that. Where will these classes be held? And then how should I store my firearms? Obviously, if you're going to a class, especially even a CCW class, for starters, you want to make sure you show up to class with your firearm unloaded and clear. Make sure that it is inaccessible to anybody that shouldn't have access to your firearm. And you can use gun lock boxes or gun safes. Then it also has a contact me portion down here with your name, your email, and your message. and I'm sure she'll get back to you as soon as she possibly can. I couldn't tell you how many emails a day that Wendy gets, but I'm sure it is quite a lot. So let me go ahead here before we move on and give Griff the background of Wendy. So obviously, firearms instructor. She's got family up here in northeast Minneapolis in Minnesota.
I'm sorry.
I know that's exactly how I felt. But I mean, the whole nice part about that is she's relatively close to both of us.
All right.
To some degree, probably about 25-30 minute drive. But she also grew up here in Minnesota, I believe, down south of the cities, if I remember correctly, by like an hour and 15 minutes. So she grew up with a pro Second Amendment loving father, did a lot of hunting in that. Her husband owns a few guns. Elderly woman, but probably one of the sweetest old ladies you'll ever meet. And personally, when all this is over, what I would hope for is we all plan a time where me, you, Wes, and Wendy can all go out to the range and just have fun time out there for a little bit. Abdul, you're more than welcome to join us if you have the time off. I'm not sure what your work schedule is, but feel free.
Sounds amazing, buddy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
definitely.
All right, now I want to go ahead and shout out TacPack. They're more on the Sin City tactical side, but Griff has a subscription with TacPack as well. I myself will be getting one up and running here very, very soon. For the price of the box and what you get in it, it's usually, well, at least for the total cost of all the stuff in your TacPack, way more than the $50 a month you're spending on the subscription. So it's definitely worth it to get that tactical idea.
I will say I've gotten 3 boxes so far. Figured just give it a try, get my toes wet. First one was good, but ever since then, it's blown my socks off every time I open it. Now, 2 months ago, we got a flipping steel target.
Yeah, and that's awesome. I know we love shooting steel. Wes loves shooting steel. It's more of the audible sound that kind of appeals to both myself and Wes. I'm not sure if that's the same reason you love shooting steel, but personally, comparing it to a paper target, I enjoy the audible sound that lets me know that, hey, I know I hit the target. I don't have to walk down range and check to make sure that I'm on.
Right.
So, again, even though we're still early in the works of it, G3 Survival, you see that website scrolling down at the bottom, and I will let Griff go ahead and give a little bit more information on G3.
So, G3 was founded by my buddy literally in his garage quite a few years back. I want to say a decade or so. Started off being a blacksmith. Now he's solely doing leathersmithing work. He does custom gun grips, magazine wraps, fore-end wraps, patches, what have you. 2 new exciting things is we are currently working on designs that I myself have came up with. So there'll be exclusive offers on his website designed by yours truly. And I'm also working with him on developing custom chamber flags. Because for one, safety is always the most important thing when it comes to handling your firearms. So why not look good doing it?
Yeah, indeed. I know I was going to wait till Saturday for this if you were available for the show, depending on what time we do it. But the stamp that you showed me the other night, I believe that was for what? A Hellcat?
Correct.
All right. Would you mind giving a sneak preview?
Unfortunately, I don't have a file on hand right away, but I'm currently working on a full design for a Hellcat or Springfield Hellcat grip leather wrap, full art, themed after 1776, and the original Rebel flag, the Betsy Ross 13-star flag.
Nice. All right. So moving on to one of the last few sponsors I'm going to shout out for time constraint reasonings and kind of a, well, not so much Q&A because obviously we're pushing almost an hour like we usually do. So I'm going to go ahead and do the TACX Pro Gear and NCCA promo code Overlander 25. Get you guys 15% off your gear purchases at NCCA, which is your National Concealed Carry Association, as well as 25% off your TACX Pro Gear. I currently have some more TACX Pro Gear stuff on the way in the mail as we speak, but that is one of our main sponsors. That's where I got this lovely Pro 2A mug from. I also have an ambassador shirt. Obviously not wearing it during the show. Shout out again to Wes from Sin City Tactical for the Christmas presents. We both and my significant other all received Minnesota Overlander shirts as well as Sin City Tactical banner shirts for Christmas from them. So thank you to Wes and his family for that. And we're going to go ahead here and move forward into the positive thought portion of the night. And I will go ahead and let Griff start that one off.
So let me start off on a segment I just heard about less than an hour ago. Super.
Indeed. I usually do it, but it's first show back.
Of course. So if we're just giving out positive messages, all I have to say is the biggest thing that gets me up in the morning as a red-blooded, patriotic American, when I feel like I'm the last one of our kind, it's to remember that you don't have to love our president or love the people in the country. Being a patriot means loving your country. Doesn't matter who's running it or who's in it. Every day I'm thankful for waking up in such a great country that affords the opportunities that have been presented to me and be as successful as I have been. Whereas if I were anywhere else, I doubt I'd be in this position. So always remember, love your country and just always stay strong. What about you, buddy? You have any positive messages?
Hey, I was just thinking the same thing, to be honest. Like he said, that last piece of other countries not having the same opportunity as we are. You know, we have a great opportunity, and a lot of times we forget that we're blessed, and we take for granted for a lot of things, but sometimes we just have to sit back and realize that, we are in a great place. Well, also, we have to take back a lot of stuff, take a few steps back and re-clean everything.
Right. Well, mind if I get a little personal and ask you to tell us your background, where you came from?
Well, I'm Somalian, but I was born in Kenya, and I came here when I was 3 years old, raised in New York. 10 years later, came to Minnesota. Since then, I got stuck here.
There's all the snow, right?
Yeah, it's just stuck here, but deep inside, I feel like I was blessed regardless, just even seeing in the news and a lot of stuff, properties and everything, just in America, you get a lot of opportunity that other countries don't, but we don't see that. We're always too busy pointing fingers and doing this extra stuff, and then you realize that, like, man, you have so much opportunity like that other countries are wishing. That's why a lot of people come here,
Right.
to get that same opportunity that we have, but we're not really grateful for it. So we should be grateful regardless how the government or politicians are. So, but yeah, I came from a country where everybody's like, man, so that's that.
Indeed.
Right.
And then for me to end it off, I'm going to go ahead and kind of piggyback off of what both of them said. I've known both of these gentlemen for the last...
Whoa. Gentlemen.
Hey.
Okay, degenerates. Excuse me.
There we go. That sounds like more.
That's a little bit more fitting. We're all a bunch of degenerates. Anywho, I've known these two for, going on a little over 6 years now. And I've known Wes longer than you have. It's been about 5.5, going on 6 months of me knowing him. You really only have known him and started talking to him about 4 or 5 months ago.
Right.
So I think I've got about a month longer on you. But with that being said, again, we're lucky to live in a country where we get to do pretty much anything we want, obviously within reason. I'm not saying go out there and kill somebody or go shoot somebody, because obviously you do something stupid like that, you're going to get locked up. So be thankful for the freedoms you have. As the old saying goes, love thy neighbor. I'm thankful to have the close, tight-knit circle of brothers, and I'm not even going to say friends, because those two are brothers. Wes is my brother. We're all one big happy family here. And when it really comes down to it, I wake up every day and I go to my day job. Love the guys I work with there, but again, we, at least me, Wes, and Griff, we do this as more of like not even a side gig, but a hobby. And it's not because we have to do it. It's because we want to do it. We look forward to, doing these shows for you guys and giving you guys the information that we do. So again, like I said, on Saturday's show, stay safe out there, train hard, and we will catch you on Saturday over on Sin City Tactical Show.
Take care, y'all.
Take it easy.